For our trip to the Cochon de Lay Festival, we picked up LA1 just west of Baton Rouge, where it actually shares the roadbed with US Highway 190. This 4-lane stretch of old federal highway, which was once the main east-west route through this part of the state, was recently resurfaced, and it's a smooth ride, perfect for motorcycles. About 15 miles west of Baton Rouge, LA1 splits off to the right and heads north towards New Roads, taking you through rich, fertile farmland. This is a great and relaxing place to ride. But watch out for the locals. Speed limits and yellow lines don't seem to mean much to them. After a couple of miles, you'll come upon False River. This 10.5-mile oxbow lake was once the main channel of the Mississippi River. But during seasonal flooding in the 1770s, Old Man River found a shorter route to the coast, and False River was cut off. Today, it's a prime fishing and recreational lake, dotted with both camps and expensive homes. Just northwest of New Roads, LA1 takes you into the heart of motorcycle history. As you travel through Morganza, Louisiana, and directly past Miss Blackie's Cafe, where one of the pivotal scenes of the iconic film Easy Rider was shot. Well, at least you'll ride past the vacant lot where the cafe once stood. A few hundred yards past town, LA1 climbs on top of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers Morganza Spillway levee and floodgates. This is one of the many man-made structures erected after the historic flood of 1927, aimed at keeping Old Man River under control. On this Mother's Day weekend ride, we see dramatic evidence of recent spring flooding on the Mississippi. The normally dry pasture land to the east of the road currently looks like a vast lake, as the waters make their way right up to the floodgates. The trip across the floodgates is probably the roughest part of the entire ride. Here you'll get a slight roller coaster effect as you cross each individual gate, but it's completely tolerable. In fact, it's kind of fun. On the north side of the floodgates, the road is straight and the surface is smooth as glass. Quite a temptation for those prone to speeding. So while the scenery is beautiful, always keep an eye on the rearview mirrors for the cagers who have seen it all before. After leaving the floodway, LA1 continues to hug the Mississippi River for another 5 to 10 miles before reaching the community of Lettsworth, where the road takes a more westerly turn. The road surface here is not quite as good as the previous section, but it's still solid and very rideable. Once again, this is prime farmland, which stretches as far as the eye can see in nearly all directions. At the town of Simmsport, LA1 crosses another mighty Louisiana river, the Atchafalaya, which branches off the Mississippi River just north of here and travels 170 miles to the Louisiana coast. After crossing the Atchafalaya, we followed LA1 another 14 miles to the town of Mansoura and this year's Cochon de Lay Festival. Our entire trip up this section of LA1 from Baton Rouge to Mansoura was about 70 miles and took about an hour and a half. In all, a very pleasurable Mother's Day weekend ride with great scenery and a little history to boot.